Welcome to London City Girl. Often in TV land, small-scale tragedies take place in the form of show cancellations. And today, we're going to count down the top 10 shows that should never have been axed. At number 10 is My Name is Earl, a comedy about a petty criminal who gains a newfound respect for the concept of karma and goes about righting wrongs he's previously committed. When it first aired, the show went down a storm, but unfortunately it couldn't sustain the interest, and by the end of its fourth season, it was only attracting 4.5 million viewers as opposed to the 11 million it started with. Frustratingly for fans, the show ended on a cliffhanger as the show creator expected it to be renewed for a fifth season. At number 9 is Dark Angel, one of the most underrated sci-fi TV shows to have ever aired. Set in a dystopian future, Max Guevara, played by Jessica Alba, is an escaped genetically modified soldier who tries her best to lay low as her creators search for her. She works with a cyber journalist who is confined to a wheelchair to find others like herself. The show only made it to 2 seasons, and fans of the program placed the blame squarely on the shoulders of the Fox network. The first season performed well, but the second was moved to a bad time slot, which saw a 4 million audience drop. The budget too was slashed, and it showed. Admittedly, the second season made a misstep or two, getting rid of popular characters and introducing some dubious freak-of-the-week plot lines. However, it regained some of its assurance toward the end of its run, returning to its high-concept overarching plotline and introducing the intriguing idea of the Illuminati. But the damage was done, and Fox cancelled the show in favour of Firefly, which was another short-lived gem that we'll talk about a little later. At number 8 is My So-Called Life. The coming-of-age drama, My So-Called Life, premiered on ABC in the summer of 1994 and only ran for 1 season before being cancelled. Despite only airing 19 episodes, it launched the careers of Claire Danes and Jared Leto, and left a lasting impression on the teens of the 90s. Although My So-Called Life attracted critical acclaim for its portrayal of teen angst, ABC found the programme difficult to market, and matters weren't helped by the fact that the show's time slot meant it was up against one of the most successful TV shows of all time, Friends. My So-Called Life's low ratings led to its cancellation, and that triggered one of the first instances of a fan-led internet campaign aimed at saving a television programme. But then it emerged that Danes herself was reluctant to continue her lead role and wanted to move into films. The poor ratings and Danes' reluctance sealed the show's fate, and it was not recommissioned for a second season. Despite its short-lived tenure, My So-Called Life influenced a slew of later teen dramas and left a lasting TV legacy. At number 7 is Pushing Daisies, a quirky comedy drama about a pie maker who can bring dead people back to life by touching them only once, and his formerly dead sweetheart whom he has revived. The show was funny and unique and awarded 7 Emmys out of a total of 17 it was nominated for in its lifetime. However, as the show was gaining momentum, the 2008 writers' strike happened, halting its progress. The show's low ratings and the fact that it was an incredibly expensive show to create led to its demise. Show creator Brian Fuller has expressed a wish to bring the show back in some form or another in order to give it an appropriate ending. At number 6 is Roswell. Roswell was a science fiction show that revolved around a group of teenagers, some human and some alien. The program did badly in terms of ratings from the very start, and in response, the show's focus shifted to include more science fiction themes rather than focusing on a relationship-driven standalone episodic structure. But even with these style changes and a third season, the show still could not gain momentum. The fans were loyal, but there were simply not enough of them. At number 5 is Dollhouse, a Joss Whedon classic. This show tells the story of a dollhouse in which humans wiped of their personalities are housed. These humans, or dolls as they are known, are empty shells in which new personalities are imprinted and then they are rented out to clients. The concept was impressive, and with much fanfare, Fox gave us Dollhouse. It immediately became a cult favourite. However, the fact that our main character had multiple personalities but no personality when she was kept in her fundamental state was a problem. Many just couldn't connect with Eliza Dushka's main character. The second season had a much more ensemble feel as the stories of the other characters on the show were told. However, the changes were not enough to save the show from low ratings and ultimately cancellation. At number 4, Jericho. Jericho revolves around Jake Green and his life in Jericho as the small town is left devastated by a series of nuclear attacks on the United States. Previously a layabout, Jake steps up to become the leader of his town. The show only managed 2 seasons, and the second only came about after a monumental fan effort which saw 20 tons of nuts being delivered to CBS. But much of the second season was leaked online, so by the time Jericho actually aired, the ratings went down even further, and it was cancelled yet again, this time permanently. At number 3, Arrested Development. It seems everyone had heard of Arrested Development, but not enough people had actually watched it. The show revolved around the formerly wealthy Bluth family who had fallen on hard times. The quality of the writing meant the show immediately found a die-hard fan following, and the critics loved it. But despite all this, viewership was low. The problem was it wasn't Frasier or Scrubs. One could not dip in and out. To watch the show, you had to be committed, and it was this very necessity that made it difficult for the show to increase its audience share. In 2006, after 3 seasons and only 53 episodes, it was axed. But 5 years later, Netflix agreed to license new episodes, and in 2013, a 15-episode 4th season was released, exclusively on the video streaming platform. Currently, there is an Arrested Development movie in development. At number 2 is Caprica. Caprica was the prequel to Battlestar Galactica, the event taking place 58 years before Battlestar. The show revealed how the robotic Cylons were first created by man. The show boasted spectacular visuals and a charismatic cast including Eric Stoltz, but the exorbitant costs of making the show, coupled with the fact that the ratings barely hit over 1 million per episode, meant that the Sci-Fi Channel, which had previously championed the show, had to pull the plug. At number 1, Firefly. The cancellation of Joss Whedon's brilliant space western Firefly is widely considered a travesty by science fiction fans. Set in 2517, the show follows a crew of 9 on the spacecraft Serenity as they go from planet to planet getting into all manner of scrapes. The show was cancelled after 1 season and only 14 episodes because it failed to attract large ratings. Part of the reason for its poor performance was because Fox aired the episodes out of order and changed the scheduling. Even though the show only aired for 3 months, it gained a cult following, with Firefly fans calling themselves the Browncoats. The enthusiasm for the show propelled the making of the movie spin-off Serenity, which, like the show, did well with critics and hardcore fans, but again, could not find a significantly large audience. That concludes our top 10 list of shows that should never have been axed. We hope you enjoyed this video, and remember, for more videos like this, subscribe to London City Girl, and we'll see you next time.